Okay. Hey Randy, how's it going?
It's going all right. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. How's your weekend going so far? Do you have any plans for tomorrow for 4th of July?
Um, I probably shouldn't. I was a little sick last week, so I didn't really do a lot of streaming. But I do have a I mean, I got tested last Saturday, so I'm fine. Like no, I was negative. But yeah, I might do something for the four. I didn't stream at all, so I really do want to start streaming a lot again. Have daddy soda for America, or some whiskey, depending.
Yes, yes.
What
That
about you?
sounds fun. Typical family barbecue, get together and then try to find some fireworks. I live in Colorado, so we have some fire bans going on right now, so I'm not sure where they're actually going to have fireworks. So I just got to
You,
go find them.
you said fire bans, like they banned fireworks?
No, so like when in Colorado we get a lot of natural fires like during the summer and everything like in the mountains, and if we
Oh.
start having a lot of them, then they just have like a complete fire ban and they like cancel out fireworks and like all that kind of festivities due
Yeah, that
to
makes sense.
yeah. Um but I'm hoping they play them at, or like have them at the Coors Field. They usually have them there for like the baseball games, so I don't see why they couldn't do it for like the holiday. Guess we'll
Yeah.
see. um, okay. Well, the reason why I wanted to interview you is because you are one of my favorite YouTubers, and I feel like you also give a lot of knowledge for the community, not only about Vivi, but a lot on Omi as well. Me being somebody that knows little to nothing about crypto, your channel has helped me understand a lot more about Omi itself, and I kind of want to know why you are so bullish on Omi and when you found Omi.
Sure. So I found Omi when I was looking for the crypto of Earth 2. I had gotten into Earth 2. That's like my first real thing in the metaverse. The only type of information I had on metaverses beforehand was I was watching the Science Channel, like in like 2012, and this one physicist called Michio Kaku, who's like my favorite physicist, like of either him or like maybe Leonard Susskind, but Michio Kaku is so good, and he was talking about um, just different universes, and he's like, well, you could consider a game like The Sims or a game like Second Life to be another universe where you go inward. And he played Second Life, which I had never heard of at this point. This is like 2012, 2010, whatever. And he said that he found himself, and again, someone who's really, really intelligent, really smart, again, like super doctor of quantum and theoretical physics. And he says like he was surprised at how quickly he got lost in this metaverse and how much time and how much fun he was having. And I was like, oh wow, this is really interesting. But it was like in 2012, it was a ways back. And then when I saw Earth 2, like, oh, it's a second Earth, but you could buy the land and it's really cheap. And it was like kind of getting in something at the ground floor. And I was just going Earth 2, I was like, and I was buying everything in like South Africa, Brazil, land in the USA was already at that time what I thought was too high, and then now it's like 60x since there. Uh, so when I found out that they're launching their crypto and it was supposed to be on Go Chain, it's not. They partner with Polygon and Matic now, but I was searching for Go Chain cryptos that were like super large amounts that were super super cheap, and I found this coin called Omi. It's like, oh, there's 750 billion tokens. It's like a fraction of a penny. This is it. This has got to be it. So I look into it, and then I find out, oh, what's a VV? It was associated with that, and I I look into VV and I find out the CEO, David Yu and Dan Carruthers, COO, and then I find out their head of licensing was Alfred R. Kahn. I was like, wait a minute, I know this name, because I'm a big Pokemon and like Nintendo guy. So I was like, let me
Yes.
do. I was like, oh my god, that's him. That's him. He's a licensing. So I immediately like divert a lot of stuff, and I was like, I'm going all. I called my friend Dan, who's like my brother. I was like, you need to go all in on this token right now. Put everything you have into it. And the more I learn about it, the more I look at like the tokenomics, and the more people, more brands that sign on with VV that are all going to be using the token for their NFTs. that's like a no-brainer. But I put more in this week. I bought like another 12 million Omi.
Jeez, okay. Do you mind if I ask how much Omi you have?
Yeah, yeah. Right now it's 144.5 million Omi.
Nice. So you're gonna be sitting pretty nice when it goes to the moon, huh?
Yes, that is the plan.
Um, so would you say that you are more of an investor in Omi itself or more into VV?
Um,
Like, I guess,
the-
would
mhm.
you cash out a collectible for more Omi?
So I have such like an internal struggle. Like when Luke is talking to Darth Vader, he's like, "I sense the struggle within you, Father. Like, let go." And I, I'm a collector at heart. I can move these pizza boxes. I can show you some of the Pokemon cards I still have left, and they are. I love collecting things. I get emotionally attached, whether it's cards or whether it's like cars or vehicles or these NFTs, and I love them. And it each time I go to sell them, I know it's the right thing because it's going to make money, and I think why I sold a gym challenge. I was the third person only ever in the world to get a complete gym challenge set for Pokemon cards. The gym challenge was still in that first generation, but you had like the gym leaders cards. Like this isn't just any Charizard. This is Blaine's Charizard, and this is Misty's Gold Duck and Giovanni's Persian. And I love these cards more than anything. But I had a chance to buy this trophy card, so I sold it for that. And in that same way, I've had so many of these really low mint specials like I had a secret rare Spider-Man, I had an ultra rare Spider-Man, a super low mint secret rare Captain America, and I was I that Omi is not a emotional investment. It's a coin, it's a token, but these things are so cool, and especially if you're the first owner of them. You're the first
That,
owner that has them. It's like, okay, this is mine. It hasn't been tainted by anybody else's, app and whatever. And uh, to see them go to other places, it's like, please take care of this. Like, I'm gonna buy it
right.
back one day at some point. But yeah, I've sold a lot of these, like the ones that I've mentioned for Omi, because I do see that Omi will probably be the bigger, the better ROI. That's what I specialize in. A lot of my businesses beforehand, before this, were based on how to get the best ROI, and I'm good at it. So be advised if you're a collector, and you're getting into this level, I can collect and make money. It's very hard to sell because it is not because nobody buys. People buy it in a second, but
Yes.
because that you get emotionally attached, and it's physically hard. And if you think that you won't, you might be surprised. You might be
I
surprised at how
know.
attached you get.
Well, and see, when I found Vivi, I actually was scrolling through Instagram and came across some recording video of Elsa, and I'm a huge Disney nerd, so I was like, "What is this?" And so I looked into it, and I realized they were NFTs, which I never really looked into or knew anything about. But I still downloaded Vivi and just kind of watched the market and kind of like went through. And it's really funny because one of my first purchases was a Loki Gator. Um, I bought a common Loki Gator. My dog's name is Loki, so I had to do it for him. And yeah, so after I bought him, it was hard for me to sell. So I definitely feel you on the whole like getting way too connected because now when I get something, I want to hold it forever and I'm like, it'll make me money in the future. And I'm not very good at flipping and making money now because of those emotional attachments. So maybe I should start investing more of my money into Omi so I'm not so emotionally attached.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's like set it and forget it. Like I have a more emotional attachment to like my minute rice than I do Omi because it's just numbers, and minute rice, at least you eat food. So yeah, that's I'm glad you got that. Did you get the rest of the set? Did you get the ultra rare and the secret rare?
No, I did not.
Soon.
I know, soon for sure. There's just after this huge dip, there was just so much that I wanted to pick up. We ended up getting a Walt. So I have Walt and I've picked up Elsa, and I really want to pick up R2. That's like my next big purchase. I'm just trying to gather up my gems, but again, it's kind of hard to sell stuff, so I need to get over that step. But yeah, there's just so much that I want to grab, and I already told you that I want to get the FA Harley still, and that's probably going to be purchased by the end of this weekend. So,
Nice.
yeah. Um, well, I guess kind of I want to get to know you on a personal level as well, not just
Yeah.
your whole VV life. So, what are some hobbies and stuff that you had before VV and Omi?
Hobby. I mean, I love like Nintendo. Like my whole arm is Nintendo. Um, I like Disney movies as well. I like and so it really worked out that that we're partnered with Disney and Star Wars and all that. Um, I there's so much. I mean, I love to run. I love to work out. Not so much recently because I've been very busy and I'm like I don't know if you ever seen the movie Not Let It Be. Yesterday. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Where that chick from Saturday Night Live is telling like the main character, she's like, "You're both scrawny and round at the same time." I feel like that right now. So yeah, not so much recently. I've been quite busy, doing a lot of traveling and stuff. But I do love to travel. I love different types of beers and whiskeys, and I love like that's. I'm going to a whiskey tasting in November with a couple of people, and I love going to Europe, especially Germany, and just drinking all of their amazing German beers, or like oh god, a Guinness in Ireland. There's nothing else like that. That I know. Where are you from?
That sounds amazing. I mean, I'm from Colorado. I've never been out of the country,
Yeah.
unfortunately. How many times have you been to Ireland and Germany?
Germany a bunch of times. Ireland only once, I think. Maybe twice. Yeah, I think it was just once. Germany a bunch of times, like 4 times or 5 times. Austria a bunch. So I used to do like a Euro trip every year or every other year. And then the pandemic happened, and then I haven't been there since. But my first career was in veterinary medicine. I was a veterinarian assistant, and then I would also on the side just help out with dog and cat grooming. Just being like a bait, like do like the bath nails and ears for the dogs or cats, and then have the groomer do the rest or hold. So I love it, and part of the reason why I'm buying, I put everything into Omi, outside of this, what I have in collectibles and what I have in Earth 2. And I sold like Tesla stock, I sold like agent receivables from past businesses, is because I think Omi's the best ROI and the best way I think I could help like maybe not sort of the world, but animals, is just by buying land in places where there are a lot of endangered species like Madagascar and Indonesia, and make it so that okay, you can't like hunt, you can't do anything. This like land is totally conservation now. But I love animals, so that's like a
I
big
love that. I love
good.
that. What's your spirit animal?
So this is gonna make me sound really crazy. I like a couple different things. I like wolves because they're awesome and they just live this amazing. Like so, I also used to box. I don't have my gloves on. I used to box when I was younger, and there's something almost primal about like getting hit and hitting people, and then like also being when you get really good and you're really fast at someone trying to hit you and they can't, and it's just there's something so satisfying about, and it sounds really bad, and again, I love people and I
No.
but of just hey, I killed you with my body. And obviously, you don't do that. You just, okay, you're down, and then your friends after mostly, but that's just like such a savage feeling, and I feel like wolves get that. Like they don't give a crap about anyone. Like they'll obviously hunt to kill, to eat and survive, and but they'll also just like go into like a ranch or like a farm and just mess up some chickens. They'll mess up like just because that's what they're having a good time with. That testosterone just go. So and I kind of recognize that feeling because like going in and sparring and fighting is just I don't know. There's no other feeling like it. There are feelings that are better, and there are feelings that are similar, but it's very unique. Um, so wolves with that, but also like lions. There's these, I forget what, I think it's like an island right off the coast of, I think it's Eastern Africa. Yeah, Eastern Africa, where it's just lions and they're not eating like gazelle or anything. There's only lions and like buffalo. So they're only eating buffalo. And the female lions are like almost as big as normal male lions, and the male lions are just huge. And it's, I feel like, I don't know if you watch any anime. Do you watch
Oh,
any?
yeah, of course.
Okay, so do you like Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the Royal Saiyan crest from King Vegeta and Vegeta, and there's those types of like that whole race of Saiyans were just bred to fight, and I feel like these lions in this particular part of the world, they're not bred to on like gazelle and other things. They're bred specifically to hunt buffalo because that's how they evolved for like the last 100 years. And I know all of this is going to like with fighting, and I feel like that's only a really small part of who I am. But that's um, I guess if I'm going to go the opposite end of that, I don't know, like golden retrievers that are just happy, that are just like, yeah,
Happy go
I love
lucky
that
for
too.
life.
Like,
Hey, but what also wolves and lions have in common is they are super vicious and they have those primal instincts, but they also are always looking out for their family and their tribe. And I feel like you do a lot of that too. So I think that those are both really good, strong spirit animals for you.
thank
You
you.
have a cat, so I guess I could say a lion would fit more. I don't know how your
I
cats would like the wolf.
I don't have any cats. I have Dashy. Dashy is my only.
Oh, Dashy's your only cat? This whole time I
Dashy's
thought you had a
Dashy's a
real cat.
Dashy's a doggo. Yeah, no, I have when I was involved with this other person, she had three cats, a dog, and a rat, and I miss them terribly. But that is not a thing anymore. So
Yeah.
no more cats. Dashy's all I
Oh.
need.
Yeah, Dashy's cool anyway, so whatever. So it's they're loyal for you only.
Yeah.
Okay. So why Loki alligator?
So, so it started with I was on a stream. That was like December or January. I was on a stream with Henry Gagliuca, who I'll be talking with tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I think this is coming out later, so I don't know if the viewers will get that. There's a We were just talking, and we were going through a bunch of stuff, and I was drinking some not twisted teas. They were spiked Arnold Palmers. They're so good. It's from 7-Eleven. And I was going through it, and I was like, you know what? We're asking a question. He just asked, like, what's the scarcest or rarest Marvel, like the lowest mint Marvel, ultra rare, secret rare? And I was like, oh, that there's alligator Lokis. There's like 800 of them. And I was like, that'd be really interesting for arbitrage and for people going and just buying that up, because there's so few of them. And we have had this company recently in Singapore. It's called CPF, the Central Provident Fund. And what they've done, but this was before this, but I knew it was coming. Recently, I think in May, CPF had gone and said, after Singapore's Supreme Court had said NFTs are assets, you could buy them, they're safe, whatever. CPF just said, okay, we're gonna go and buy a bunch of stuff, and I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of EV NFTs. And I knew back in December and January, like, listen, there's going to be ETF funds and hedge funds and funds like CPF that are going to go and just buy up not just one of a couple of things. They're not just gonna get one of each. They have a bunch of clients, and they're gonna get dozens or hundreds of each. And if they can't get it from that circulating supply, they're gonna have to like try to contact people for it. And it's like so you have that aspect of the scarcest Marvel secret rare, which is still that's what we still have as a scarcest. And also there's going to be people like groups of, like, you ever go on 4chan?
No.
It's a dark, crazy place on the internet where you joke about things that shouldn't be joked about, but it's hysterical, but it's crazy. And they have this, like, they're responsible for, like, when Taylor Swift had she had like a contest, like I'm gonna perform for like a random high school because like she's awesome and she's amazing. And the people on 4chan is like, okay, let's mess with her. And they made the entire 4chan army voted for this one high school. I don't know where it was, but it happened to be a high school of the deaf. So the contest that won was a cup. It just it did. So there's going to be groups of people that are going to troll, and they are just going to buy things just to burn them. When we allow burning of the NFTs, people will just be like, yeah, I just want to watch the world burn and cause chaos, and now nobody can get them.
Yeah.
Or people that individuals that doesn't need a hedge fund that can just go and buy a whole bunch of them and control the supply. So me and I think 4 or 5 other people have I think 24% of the alligator Lokis that are
Oh,
in
nice.
total.
Wow. Okay. I like that little plan. I wish I had a
And then I
team
love
that
him
wanted to
also.
stack stuff with me. Oh, how do you feel about the Marvel Loki now, the Mighties?
I have him. I got the mighty set yesterday or 2 days ago. I sold a the first appearance of Kamala Khan. I had 4 of her comics, the secret rares. So I sold one of them, and then I bought the rest of the mighty set with that. So I like
Nice.
it. I think it's cool.
Are you gonna stack Loki too? The Mighty? Mm-hmm.
Probably not. I mean, it probably would be really good if those are gamified, those Marvel Mighties. Oh my God, yeah, those will go through the roof.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence. There is a small amount of evidence that'll show like, oh, maybe they could be gamified, but there's no.
It's huge
Um,
speculation for sure.
yeah, it's a gamble to stack like just because you think that they might be gamified. It's not because you
Yeah.
like them and they're cool and they are fun to play with, and that's the most they have more of the mighty sets than they do a Batman series black and white. It's the most sets in that one thing. So I think there's something they have planned.
For sure. Definitely. I mean, I was a little upset because Loki's one of my favorite characters from the Marvel series and stuff. So I thought I was a little upset when I seen that his FA is a mighty, but you know, he still looks all right. So I can't be too upset about it. And at least we finally have him now too. So
Yeah, yeah, he's
gotta look at the
I
bright
love the
sides.
mighty. Yeah, they're fun to play with. They're cute. Do you listen to Emergency Awesome on YouTube?
No, I don't.
He's a guy named Charlie. He'll be
Hold
like,
on, I want to write that down. You said emergency awesome?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, he's got a he's got a channel, and what they do is, or I think he's like he might have writers, but he is. Oh yeah, so episode he's got a couple of things like one of the one is Loki episode 5 top 10 breakdown Easter eggs. It's 1.6 million views, and he goes and he talks about he goes over everything and he's talking about Loki and stuff. He has dubbed and he's got 4.2 million subscribers. He dubbed Alligator Loki like Superior Loki, like that's his favorite character. And you have IGN.com on Instagram saying who's your favorite Loki, back in like January, I think, or December, and overwhelmingly the majority, everyone is like Alligator Loki or alligator emojis. So that is the fan favorite. Um,
That's awesome.
and I think everyone loves him, but they just don't know it yet. For the people that haven't
Right.
seen it.
Oh yeah. And the Loki series was great. I can't wait for them to drop the remaining
Yeah.
parts of it. Do you know when it comes out? Have they released that information?
Probably next year. They started filming a few weeks ago. But yeah, probably next year.
Can't wait. I swear. It's gonna be so good. Did you like the Obi-Wan Kenobi series while we're watching about or talking about TV?
Yeah, so I at first I was not it's not that I didn't like it. I was just sad because in the beginning, when it's like he wasn't training for 10 years, and they made him like an old man, and he's like, oh man, it was like seeing it was like seeing James J. Braddock knock out like Joe Louis, and Joe Louis at that time, boxing thing, and this way back then, it's just this sad old man at this point, and that's kind of what they made him seem like, and I was like, oh no, it's just gonna be. But then it got better, and I guess spoilers. It's just Leia. I thought I didn't like her at first. She seemed like really bratty, and then I was like, okay,
Yes.
she's just like smart and ahead of her time, and then I really liked them afterwards. What did you think about it?
Um, So kind of like you, in the beginning, it was a little slow, and I was like, I wonder where they're going with this. Like, I hope this isn't just about like Obi's sad like life after everything went down. But yeah, no, I think that it ended up being really good. I don't want to spoil anything for the people that haven't watched it, but maybe I can talk to you later after the stream about one thing that does kind of like grind my gears just a little bit. I think it was either in the last episode or the episode before that, but yeah. Overall, it was really good. I liked it. I got the comic because I like it so much. So,
Yeah, that was
ta-da!
to
Oh,
see Hayden Christensen again, and just it was they had some really good scenes. They had some really cool like the end, like oh god, yeah, that last episode was amazing, just showing
yeah.
so much. Again, no spoilers, but that was
And I like how they just it's kind of like a filler of what happened in between like the new and the old series or movies, you know. It's kind of good to have like that little filler of like what happened in between.
Did you watch Clone Wars, the animated series?
No, I haven't seen it. I know. Don't hate me. I
I don't hate
know.
you.
I
I just
know.
it's so good. It's so good. Like that, if you have dozens of hours now of just content that you can just. It's a reason. It's another reason to live. It's another reason to be alive because it's so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to start watching that. Maybe I'll start watching it today after our little stream, and I'll let you know how I think about it.
Cool.
Um, well, we know that Loki is your favorite alligator. What is your favorite comic and why?
On the app or
Yes,
in?
on Vivi.
Okay. I might have to answer two because I'm a little biased.
Okay,
Fantastic Four number one because I have it. I have the secret rare.
obviously.
But the if I'm going like the most pleasure I get out of reading it was Hit Monkey. Like that's such a cool story, and I love that whole storyline that he has. It's I don't know if it did really well on Hulu because they had a series. I don't know if that got approved for
You
season
haven't
two.
watched it?
No, is it good?
It's so good.
Okay, good, good, good. Because I read a bunch of the comics, and if they I don't know what the first season was really about. I imagine it was like the origin story, and then but he goes through so much stuff. Like Hitmonkey works for Shield at one point. He fights Deadpool and Spider Man, and he goes like fights Logan. Like it's insane. Like he's part of like this like a supernatural recon unit at some point. It gets
Yeah.
insane. So I love that storyline. And obviously the comic is worth poop, but but it's so good. And I
Dang,
wish
well,
more people would read it.
I didn't realize that he like fights like Deadpool and all these people too, because that's not like
Yeah,
in the series or anything.
it's.
I wonder
I
if they'll
mean,
make
they
more.
was it just one season? Do you know if it's renewed for season two?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, because that's yeah.
Something we'll have to look into.
He goes with everything. It's one of the storylines is Deadpool is looking for Spider-Man. I think because he wants to like be good, or he want or whatever. But Spider-Man has or Peter Parker has this relationship with this Chinese food guy, and then suddenly he walks in. He's like Mr. Cheng, and then suddenly there's like bodies everywhere, and it's like a massacre, and he knows Deadpool's in town. So Spider-Man like finds Deadpool and just starts beating him up, and he's like, oh god, and he's like, what did you do to Mr. Chang? He's like, I don't know who that is, and then Deadpool looks at the crime scene, and then he's like, wait a minute, if I didn't know any better, I think it was you, Spider-Man, that did this. The way the angles of the trajectory of the bullets, like, but I know who it was. It was Hit Monkey. And Spider-Man's like, that's not a thing. He's like, it's totally a thing. And he goes through like the story, and they all fight. It's so good. It's
Dude, yeah, that's so cool. What? I need to get that comic book. I want to read it. That
the
sounds so
really good
cool.
series that he's got.
Yeah, that's so cool. See, I'm always learning stuff from you, Randy. I love it.
Good.
um, so I also know that you did do a little time in the Marines, if I'm not
Air
mistaken.
Force.
Air Force. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Um, what kind of day-to-day life did you see? Were you kind of more like on base, or were you actually like in the field, or did you get to just ride on all the cool like ships? Or you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure. So for anyone that's thinking about going in, your recruiter is going to lie to you, like lie straight to your face, like you're going to be doing this, you're going to be a spy, you can do like, and you're going to think it's so cool. And then once, so what happened with me is that I, it was like I moved out of my parents in like 2010 when I was like 19, and I was doing it. I was working, but I was like working two, sometimes three jobs to like, okay, there's car insurance and rent, and it just wasn't what was not a huge fan of working all that and not really have anything to show for it. So in like early 2012, I go talk to like a Air Force recruiter because my friend, I had two friends that were in, and my friend Rod, who had been in all three, he'd been in Army, Marines, and Air Force, and he said, "Do Air Force." It's like don't do any other branch, do the Air Force. I was like, okay, and he would know. So I went and I went Air Force recruiter, and they do this thing called an ASVAB test to determine like where you are. And here's where they got me. They they determine the ASVAB is not an IQ test, but it has some correlation. They have determined that any job, if you have an IQ under like an 82, they determine that any job that you try to do will absolutely be counterproductive and it won't be good. So they could do the ASVAB test to kind of weed out people that wouldn't qualify for it. But the good thing about getting, if you get a high score, like I got like a 91, you can only get, it's like out of 99. So you can qualify for as many like jobs as you want. And my recruiter's like, that's a really good score. You can get whatever you want. And he's like, there's a waiting list for all these jobs, but check them off and I'll let you know. And I was like, okay, cool. This is at the time, it was in 2012. We downsized a lot because Obama he was like just being reelected. And it's like, yeah, we're not going to do a lot of stuff. So it was a wait list. And then my recruiter, had this lie, and he was like, listen, you got a good score. If you go in as open general, you're going to get a job where they're going to use like your brain. And I was like, okay, that makes sense because you want to get as many qualified people into those areas as possible. But the needs of the Air Force, that machine is just like, we need people in this career field and you're a body. And it was this thing called 2T2. The worst three jobs in the military are services, security forces, and 2T2, which is air transportation. That's what I was. And it's because they're 24-hour ops, and there's like no days, like if you're in finance or medical, like you'll have days off. Like they're in this it's 24-hour operation, so it's always going, and you'll still have days off, but stateside it wasn't so bad. Stateside was, I was in New Jersey though, so that kind of sucks. New Jersey is not fun. There were some other parts of New Jersey which I'll get to, but then when I was deployed to Kuwait, I was like, okay, this is what like I joined for, and it was just I got there in February, so February March, wasn't that bad. April wasn't bad, but then like once the sandstorms hit in May, and it was like 112, 125 degrees like every day, I was like, this sucks. I felt like Beavis and Butthead, like to America, like the sun sucks. Uh, but you're driving all these big vehicles and it's fun, and so there's like a meme that says like, oh, cops only go through like X amount of hours of the psychological training or whatever. They need more than that. And it's like, well, me as like a 2T2 that can literally load bombs, like giant explosives on aircraft just by doing what's called a CBT. It's called a computer-based training. So there's like, you're just doing that for the first time. I hope I don't drop this as you're moving these big things. It is so dangerous.
Jeez, sounds
So
nerve-wracking.
yeah. So that was, I mean, you get, I guess, kind of like numb to it after a while. But yeah, you're driving bunch of these big vehicles, putting cargo on aircraft, driving buses. So I got to drive a lot of really awesome vehicles, like $1 million equipment, next to and on aircraft that's like hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's really fun. Um, and then yeah, New Jersey, where I was stationed, it was not too far away. It was like an hour and a half away from New York City. was like 45 minutes away from Philadelphia, an hour and a half away from Atlantic City. So there was a couple of good things around where I was stationed, but in that area, it was nothing. It was just, yeah.
Well, that's cool. At least you got to have some of that experience and kind of feel like you were James Bond as far as when you're driving the cool cargo trucks and stuff like that. I'm sorry you're
Yeah.
not a secret spy, or I guess if you are, you couldn't tell me anyways, right?
No, no. I like accidentally made like I accidentally made this reference on like a video one day where I got meetings with certain people, and I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say say any inside info. So I was like, oh, I like got to keep like certain things secret. I feel like I'm like a spy, but then I accidentally said the word. I feel like I'm a spy again, and then people are like, wait, again? This is what you did in the military? I was like, oh, guys, I misspoke. Like I just so there was like that for a little while where people thought I was a spy.
I know you're a spy now. It's okay. Your secret's safe with me, Randy.
A spy with Nintendo tattoos.
Yeah, you're a secret spy for Nintendo. You're making sure that Vivi is gonna have Pokemon before anybody else.
If I could have that, I feel like Faith Hill. If I could grant you one wish, it would just be to make sure that all of Nintendo and Pokemon came to VV, and they very well might have it. I don't know.
Right.
Um, I mean, it's like how do you get Disney unless you have other major brands?
Right.
But I don't know.
But the thing with Nintendo is I feel like they don't partner up much because they obviously why partner and spread out our profits when we can do it on our own and collect all the profits. So like as far as like gaming and stuff, like you can't like Xbox and PS finally are like, okay, we can be compatible so you guys can like play together. But Nintendo's like, nah, you're gonna invest in us if you want to play with your friends, you know? So that's the only
Yeah.
thing that makes me wonder if we will or if Nintendo will just go off and kind of do their own in general.
So
So,
here's what I'm thinking. If and I could be way off base here, but I really don't think I am. At NFT NYC, where I went to last week, it was fun. Or 2 weeks ago now, it was really fun, and I learned a decent amount. But most of what I learned is that most other companies are years, I mean, multiple years, 4, 5, 8 years behind of where VV is. And if I was Nintendo and I'm looking at all the struggles that VV is going through, and knowing that I have, let's say, I don't know, 400 million in the bank if I'm Nintendo, but probably a lot more, probably like a couple billion in the war chest, and I could catch up to VV relatively quickly by hiring, like let's say Square Enix, or doing it by themselves. This whole developer thing, building a app, building a metaverse, and it's just that they're going. VV's gone through so much legal scrutiny because they're like the first to market on like everything that they're doing. And if I was Nintendo, I'd be like, I'm gonna let VV do this. What I would do is I would, because Nintendo owns 33% of Pokemon. I would tell Pokemon, be like, hey, you're gonna give them your license for the first. I don't know, and it doesn't even have to be. I mean, it wouldn't make sense like you couldn't get Pikachu or whatever. But I was like, hey, you're gonna do this, and we're gonna test it out with Nintendo, or with Pokemon. If it does well for your first generation, then we'll give them more, and then we'll give them Mario, Kirby, Link, Zelda, all of that. Um, that's what I would do, unless they wanted to do one thing like, hey, we're going to give you Mario, but that's it. And then if, or we'll give you someone less, let's say like Kirby and King DTD, and we'll give you those guys. And then if that works out really well, then we'll give you,
the
um,
Pokemon.
yeah, then we'll give you Pokemon, or we'll give you the rest of the Nintendo. But I don't think other companies right now are really, especially in this bear market, are really going to want to start to take steps where regulations are so unsure. And I do have this guy Nick Ward coming on the podcast in the next couple of weeks, who's like at the forefront of like these legal issues with crypto and blockchain. And it's just, yeah, if I was Nintendo, I don't know if I'd want to risk trying to do things right now and then say I tell everyone one thing, and then suddenly new regulations come out in Japan or in the US, say, actually, you have to do it this way. And then they just spent tens of millions of dollars on something that suddenly is obsolete and they have to do something new, I would.
Yeah,
Oh, so
that
yeah,
that makes
that's
sense.
that's why.
Who's your favorite Mario character?
Girl, okay, so this is you can't
Girl,
just ask me that. Like, you ever watch Big Bang Theory?
of course. I love it.
There's it's like Penny's first time in like a comic book store, and she's like, "Who's the best character?" or like, "Who's the strongest character?" And the guy that was like, "You can't say that. You want to start a fight? You want to start a brawl?" Um, so I would in the Mario world, so not Nintendo at large, just in the Mario universe with like Peach and Wario and
Yes.
I would probably say Rosalina.
Okay.
Rosalina is. Do you know how much? I don't know how well versed you are with the Nintendo.
I'm huge on Mario nerd, so I got you.
Did we just become best friends?
I think we did. We have to add each other on Switch if you have it.
I do. It's my bet. I haven't played in a while. I still didn't complete Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I've been such a bad Nintendoer gamer this past few months. I've just been busy. But oh yeah, so I would say Rosalina because she's like that next generation. We've had when we started, it was Mario's dad. It was Jumpman, who rescued Pauline, and Pauline had they had the Mario Brothers. So what a lot of us know, as Mario Bros, Mario and Luigi, is that's really the second generation, and with Rosalina being supposedly the offspring between Luigi and Peach, that is it's kind of the one of the first steps in the next generation, and she's so powerful, that cosmic entity. And um, I really like her. Just yeah, I just love that character, that storyline from Mario Galaxy. Have you ever watched Game Theory on YouTube?
Um, I'm not sure. That sounds super familiar, but I couldn't tell you like for sure, for sure.
Yeah, so they like calculated what percentage, like they went through everything, and they had to go through like the French version uh of Mario Galaxy or Mario Galaxy 2 in order to find like the different translations. And it was, yeah, they determined that Luigi is most likely the father of Rosalina. Obviously Peach is the mom, but yeah, that's the whole big thing. Um, so that's the
Yeah, because
output.
I didn't know that about Rosalina. I'm not even gonna lie. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Drop some more knowledge on me. I'm like, I'm basic. I like Toad.
Oh, I love Toad. Toad's great. Have you ever heard of Toad singing Chandelier?
Yes.
That is my favorite thing, like, in the world.
I wish I could pull it up right now. If I was doing this on my computer, I would pull it up so everybody could see what we're talking about.
Oh, I could totally pull it up. I got my
Pull it up.
Telephone. All right. Toad sings Chandelier. Um, okay, let me try to find. I want to get the. Oh God. Okay, I'll start. It'll be like a 7 second thing here. That is my favorite thing in the
Oh
world.
my god. I just love him. He's the best. And I love Toadette too, obviously. All the little mushrooms. I love the little mushrooms.
So that's cool. What was your first video game what you had when you were younger?
Um, First video game was probably Mario Bros. Um,
The original?
the original,
Oh.
and then they updated it to the 64, the Nintendo
Mhm.
64, and that's when I got. Did you ever play? I don't even remember what it's called, but it was like the very first 007 game,
GoldenEye?
possibly. I liked to play that a lot because you could like hijack the like helicopter and like drive it around. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Um, no. So for James Bond, I don't know why. I was a little weird. I like The World Is Not Enough. I like that one so much better than GoldenEye. Just graphics were better. I like the maps better. everyone like always fights me on that. Like, you're crazy, you're crazy. Um, but did you know that when you had a you can hack the players so that when you're playing GoldenEye, they could be they could be Mario characters.
What?
Yeah, hang on. Like I'll find it. GoldenEye
I
Mario
did not know this.
characters. I don't know how to. Um, okay, yeah. I'll be able to show it as people are like fighting each other. You could be like Daisy and Luigi and turn off the sounds here.
See, so Nintendo was over here to get like on this whole new like multiverse-ish thing.
Yeah, totally. Oh, why can't I find anyone that is? I can't find, but you could just look up like 007 Mario characters for it, and you'll see people playing as those characters.
That
Yeah,
is so
I don't know why
cool.
the video's not showing it, but yeah.
If I knew that as a kid, I would have played that game 10 times more
Oh,
than I
okay.
already did.
All right. So let me. Yeah. So if you could see there, there's Mario, there's Donkey Kong, there's DK, and
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's hacks of it. It's really cool.
That is so cool. And then I love playing Duck Hunt. So
That was
that
fun.
was always fun.
Have you seen the speed runs of some of the old Nintendo games?
No.
Oh, so there's speed runs of like the original Super Mario Bros. Like on Nintendo. There's speed runs of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. There's this guy called Summoning Salt, like summoning a demon, but he's summoning salt, and he does documentaries on speed runs, and it's like movies. Like this dude deserves to have like Oscars and awards for his like video editing and software. So there's like Mario Kart speed runs. There's actual Mario the game speed runs and what was the other game we were just talking about?
007.
It was talking, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. That was the other one. I don't know if there's 007 speed runs. There probably is, but it's that people get to like a science of the fastest way to beat a level at like of humanly possible. Like it's so cool the way they do it. So you definitely check that out.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
send you
have
some
to.
links afterwards.
I mean, I've seen some of the ones where like, especially like in Mario Kart, where it's showing you all like the secret passages so that you can like cut through parts of the map and stuff like that. So I used to know all of those by heart. I couldn't tell you them anymore, but
They come back to you.
yeah, as you're like playing through the level, you're like, oh yeah, I can just like skirt through here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet I can beat you at some Mario Kart. Okay, but I like to play Toad, and then people tell me that it's been like actually determined that he's faster. Is this true? You would
Yeah.
definitely know.
Toad and Yoshi are the fastest.
So I'm technically a cheater. This is
I mean,
why I win.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I mean, because you still have like the blue shells you got to deal with too, you know. So I mean, there are some disadvantages being in first, but I would totally
True.
play you at some point. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Do you
yes.
still have an N64, or is it like, hey, I'll play on Switch type deal?
We'd had to play on Switch. I do actually have a Nintendo 64, but none of the games work in it. So I
Sad
know.
times. Sad times.
Sad times. The whole
Well,
like blow it out and like stuff it in there. You're like, come
doesn't work.
on, please work. Yeah, no.
We'll play on Switch, or the next time I'm in Colorado, and we'll go from there.
Do you
We'll
come to
make it like a
Colorado
live.
often? Oh my gosh, I
Usually,
would love to go to taste some beer with you.
oh, that'd be great. Yeah, usually once a year. Sometimes a little more. What part of Colorado are you in?
Denver.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I had my friend. So last year when I was selling, when I was really getting like into Omi, I'd flown out to Colorado, I think in Denver for a Pokemon deal, and what we did was it was this thing called Trophy Kangaskhan, and while I sold about one bunch of my stuff for it, I paid a record price point at the time of like $80,000 because I knew it was undervalued because I saw a what always happens is that people in general they come in to what they like, whether it's Generation One with Pikachu, Bulbasaur, whatever, Generation Two, or with Chikorita, Lugia, and all that, or three, whatever they come in on what they grew up with, what they're nostalgic for. and always a percentage of those people would start collecting like the higher tier, like what we would call grails in Vivi. They would collect like trophy cards, and one of the best trophy cards called Trophy Kangaskhan. My friend Scott had declined like a $65,000 offer like a few weeks before I bought mine for 80. So this was, and previously the highest was I think like 25 or 29,000 for this card, and even people in the Pokemon community like you're crazy for buying this for so much money, and I was like no, because at the time it was 2020 when I was contracted to buy it. Everyone was getting those government checks, and everyone was getting into like the base set or whatever. And I was like, these prices are climbing. These trophies have not moved. All of this money is going to come to trophies. I guarantee it. I bet 3,000 on it. Wound up selling it for, in total it was like 100 something cash, and then it was another like 170. So it was like 279 total. Um, and the guy I sold it to, I flew to Colorado for, and I got like a lot of the cash or like wired via bank, so I put like 100K into Omi then, but then I also had like 150 or 160,000 cards of dollars worth of cards. Like I was in like an Applebee's, like next to this bank, and I was like, oh my god, if I get robbed, this is gonna be like the worst thing ever.
You
But my
can
friend
take
Brian,
him.
yeah. um, there was an Air Force base up there, and it's a Space Force base now. Do you know what that's called?
The Air Force up here?
Yeah, but
So
it's
like
a Space Force base now. It just changed it. Let me see if I can
up in the
Google.
Springs in Colorado Springs, right?
I think so.
Well, because we have one in the Colorado Springs, and then we also have one that's like in the mountains, like what town is it?
It's not Peterson. It's not Shan. Buckley.
Buckley, yes, Buckley.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Thank
was
you.
it. So I went. No, I went to Minneapolis. But yeah, it's usually once a year. And then it's because as I have friends there as well.
Yeah.
But there's the Red Rocks are there, right? Or is that in Utah?
Red Rocks is definitely here. It's my favorite concert
Okay,
hall.
yeah. uh, yeah. So there's, and we'll talk about other reasons why I like the Red Rocks as well, and why there's specific thing. Like, yeah, lots of good stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't really know but it was the first time I had. Is it Taco Box or Taco Barn? There's a taco place there that's kind of famous.
Um, well, I feel like we have a lot of good taco places. There's like Torchy Tacos or
Wasn't that one?
Fuzzies Tacos.
No, it was like Taco Barn or it wasn't Taco Bell because like it was the first time I'd ever had this. It's not on the East Coast. It's taco. I don't know why I'm thinking it.
We have Jack in the Box. Since you
Maybe
said
it's Jack.
box, they have
Maybe
really
that's
cheap
it.
tacos.
Maybe that's it.
I don't
Maybe I'll
know,
remember it later.
but we have a lot of good Mexican food restaurants here in Colorado.
Cool.
But have you been to a concert at Red Rocks? Because that is one of the best aromas and like time you'll have.
I've heard it's yeah. I've heard it's one of the. I haven't yet, but I've heard it's one of the best things, like one of the best experiences that you could have. And so I used to play violin and piano, and I love Lindsay Sterling. She's a violinist, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you know her.
I do know her.
Yeah, so I would love to see her perform there. But yeah, I love music. I appreciate all that, and so seeing something there, like especially like either an orchestra or someone like her, just some, yeah, that'd be really fun.
So I went up there and seen 311. Do you know the band 311?
I don't think so.
They sing like amber is the color of your energy. Whoa. Shades of gold display naturally. No?
What,
Oh my gosh.
where are they from?
How do
Like
you not know 311?
wait, what time frame are they from? Are they from like the mid 2000s? Are they from like 2010s?
Probably early 2000s, I want to say.
311?
Yes. I'm
Why am I
surprised you haven't heard of them.
why am I
They're kind of
what
like, I guess like reggae-ish. I don't know. I like rock reggae. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, the song Amber has 30 million views on YouTube. So
It's
it's yeah.
huge. Oh my gosh, but that was one of the most amazing concerts I've ever been there. I've been to like all the electronic shows and stuff, and I used to be big on that scene, but I'm not really into it anymore. But
Yeah.
those were all fun, but seeing like actual like live instruments being played and just like feeling it like bounce off the rocks, like everything about it is just so great. I know that one of my favorite things of your streams is that you sing your little beginning. Um, what what causes you to pick the song you sing, and why did you start doing that? Because I love it.
Oh, thank you. It started where, I've tried YouTubing for like 2 years now, and when I had a my first Patreon member is a guy named Elijah Horse. I'm always gonna love this dude. He was the first Patreon member, first person to ever believe in me, and or thought my content was at least worth something. And I wrote like, hey guys, shout out to my Patreon member Elijah Horse. And as the list got longer, I would it'd take too long to read, so I would just like go like this, and I'd be like, hey guys, these are all my Patreon members, thank you. And then it got long enough where I was like sang a little tune at the end of one of them, and then someone's like, oh my god, oh you're singing, sing this next and sing this next. I was like, okay, so I just started singing. And it's really whatever mood I'm in, and then whatever, like, if I can remember it, like the lyrics. Like sometimes I don't, so I have to like put the lyrics up.
Yeah,
Um, but it is, yeah, it's like kind of whatever mood I'm in. Every now and then I'll try to coincide it with like a video. Um, like if I'm talking about Pokemon, I'll sing a Pokemon theme song or whatever. But
yeah. I
yeah, for the
feel
most
like an
part,
uncultured swine because I've never heard Running Up That Hill until Stranger Things. I know I'm so uncultured. I'm sorry. I blame my mother. I told her, I was like, why did you never tell me of this song? She's like, I listened to so much stuff in the 80s, Kyla. I couldn't tell you all the bands and stuff. And I'm like, well, this was a really good one and it's really well known. And now I wish that this wasn't the first time I was hearing it. But I
did
liked it
you
when you did
did
that a
you
lot.
watch Stranger Things? Did you finish it?
I just watched the rest of it yesterday.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh, my feels.
so I don't know why I was under the impression of this. Maybe they just changed it because they realized that we love them and they can't like stop making shows for us. But I thought this was going to be the last one. And then the way
Um,
they left it off, there's no way that this is the last one, you
yeah,
know?
no, they'll do a season 5.
Oh, I can't
But that'll be the last one. Yeah. Why I made like a whole video on this. Somebody was saying that I forget who it was in the community saying like, hey guys, Netflix is a really good buy right now. And I that sounded a little interesting. And I was like, like they're talking about the stock because it's part of what's called FANG. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, which I didn't like any of them. So I didn't invest in any of them when I was investing. And I was right, outperformed all of them. But I took a look at it. I was like, is it really? Because I knew it was interesting. So I was like, okay, let me look at it. And a lot of shows like Netflix, I think Stranger Things cost like $30 million an episode to film. And I was like, yeah, like what the fudge? Like this is,
Yeah.
and that's just one thing. And their marketing department is only so big. Like Netflix puts out so much content that they can't market for all of it because they have to market for Stranger Things, they have to market for Squid Game, they have to market for these other things. And then they don't have this, maybe a couple of people like from Squid Game, like some of the masks, or a couple of people that can buy stuff that they could dress like Daddy Hopper, or they could dress like Eleven with her Egos. Just called it Daddy Hopper. It's just,
You totally called him Daddy Hopper.
yeah, it's Daddy Hopper.
Love it.
Um, but there's not a lot of merch associated with a lot of stuff that Stranger Things has. Like I don't see people wearing like Queen's Gambit's hat or Queen Gambit, so like shirts. Every now and then I'll see Stranger Things, but Netflix has this really big problem of spending so much. They're in so much debt, and they just can't recoup a lot of the merch. And then so I did like this whole video saying like this is probably one of the worst buys that you can buy right now.
Same.
Yeah. So I forget what the question was before this. You said something about
Um,
Netflix and
I'm not
shows.
sure. We were just kind of talking about music and then how you sing your intros. And then the last
Oh
video
yeah,
I
Kate.
watched of yours, you were singing running up the hill. So it made me think of how uncultured I am for not knowing that song prior to. But I definitely want to pick up. I want all Funko Pops. If I could have every single one in the world, I would have one of every single one. But all the ones that they're dropping for Stranger Things right now, I want them all. They're so freaking cool. I need to get a
Same.
Demogorgon so bad.
Okay. I want the one that was Dustin's that he named that he's like a dart, I think. He's like, sorry, but you ate my cat.
Yeah.
That one was because they had like a moment even after it like grew up, you know.
Yeah.
I was like,
It was
oh yeah, I
insane.
really want that one.
I know. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
I love all Funko Pops. They're doing it right. I love them so much. I still have to
Um,
get a Maleficent too. Maleficent is my favorite. And I'm slacking.
oh, you don't have one yet?
Not a Funko Pop of her. No, I
Oh,
don't.
I thought you meant in the I was not thinking Maleficent. I was thinking of the Queen from
Oh, I
the
definitely
Disney.
hold that whole set for sure.
Good.
That's a cheap one to have for MCP points. I'm gonna have those for a minute. But
So yeah, TikTok is a really good place to um I don't know. I hear a lot of Kate Bush running up the hill. I hear a lot of ABBA on TikTok, and there's a lot of stuff with Stranger Things.
yeah.
When you learn about stuff, do you not just go on YouTube? Do you go on like TikTok and Instagram as well, or is YouTube kind of your main thing where you learn from?
I mostly learn a lot of like my VV stuff from like YouTubers like yourself. There is this one guy, I couldn't even tell you his name because it's kind of when I'm just scrolling through TikTok and his videos just randomly pop up and he's talking more about like Omi again and he kind of like teaches me more about like why you should go buy it now or why it dipped and like don't be worried and like all that kind of stuff. So I mean I kind of do a little bit of TikTok but not as much as I feel like the rest of my generation does. But
I love it.
I'm loyal to you, Randy. I just want to watch you, okay?
Oh, thank you so much. It makes me feel so good. So I love it when people say that, but I also feel like that's a big responsibility now. And it's like,
I'm I'm not trying to put pressure on you. You're just one of the things that I love about your channel is you're just you, you know? Like you can tell you're not trying too hard. You can tell that like you're just going to truly say like what's on your head, what you're just authentic, you know? And I hope that eventually I can get on the same page. I know that this is my first stream, so people could probably tell that I'm a little nervous and like, you know, got my nerves going, but it's your confidence. The way you carry yourself, Randy, makes it one assures us that you know what you're talking about, but it also gives us the like open arms like come on in, you know, like welcome to
yeah,
my dojo, welcome to my channel. Like I'll try to get you guys the best information I can and if I can't, we'll research it and talk about it next stream, you know. So I don't know. You're like you're Big Daddy Randy.
oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I love the live streams because the live streams are, we go off about like one of my favorite ones was what we were just talking about, like, and it happens like at night when there's like not a lot of people. There'll be like 60 people there, and we'll just be talking about like aliens. And this one guy, Frank Sabaka, is just like, I have two friends that claim they were abducted, and like I know them. They're really good people, and there's no reason to lie. And he's like, I'm a believer, Randy. I was like, I believe too. I want to believe too. Um, I want to believe like aliens, Bigfoot. Like, so yeah. So what's some of the local lore out in where you are in Colorado? Like, for Bigfoot sightings? Is there like weird government tests that people are, that they're doing at the Space Force base? Give me the alpha.
Okay, yeah, I mean, most people here definitely talk about like UFOs being spotted and stuff like that. So people here definitely believe in aliens. I've had a couple friends myself say that they've like had like times where they've seen it like while camping up in our mountains, you know, just like seeing a a big flash of light and then all of a sudden like it's just like gone. So like people say that there's like UFOs and stuff here, which I've always believed in aliens even before the government finally was like, yeah, aliens are real, you know? Like I've always kind of believed. I mean, there's no way that this earth is all that we have in this gigantic galaxy, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's so much more than us. We're just tiny little ants. to everything else. But I mean, I think I don't know if Bigfoot is real, but I think that there are people that like to live out in the wilderness and grow really hairy, and then they look like they look like wildebeest. Just big mountain men. But um, yeah, not too much of that. I mean, a lot of people talk about like ghosts and stuff here too, like just like spiritual encounters. So
Ever have any experiences?
I have not. So we have this place called the Ninth Bridge. It's out past Golden in the mountains, and you could drive up there. And supposedly, it used to be native grounds, and they had a huge war there. So people say that when you go up there, if you start walking around at night, you'll hear like drum sounds, like they're like playing like their drums. And they say that if you keep walking towards like under the bridge, you'll start hearing like even like the woo, 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 like them like chanting and everything. So I was a little nervous, but I'm like, whatever, let's just go up there and like check it out and everything. So it was like me and like four friends. So a group of five of us were just like walking around aimlessly, like in the dark mountains, like just trying to hear stuff and see stuff. And I didn't hear anything. And so we were out there for about like 30 minutes, and like we're like, okay, well, let's just like go home now. So like we all go back to the car, and he starts the car, and I didn't hear it. I don't know if my friend was just trying to mess with us, but she was like, "You guys hear it now, right? Like, you guys hear it." And we're like, "What are we supposed to be hearing? Like, what are you talking about?" She's like, "I could hear the drums. Like, roll down the window. I could hear the drums." And like, they rolled down the window. And then the guy that was driving, he was like, "Oh my God, I do hear them." And I was like, "What are you guys hearing? Like, you guys are just messing with me." They both get out of the car, and they like walk towards the bridge again. And like, us three are just like sitting there like they're crazy. We don't know what they're talking about. Like they did not hear anything. And then they like ran back to the car, and they were like, "We have to go now." And like they were all creeped out. So I don't know if they actually like seen or heard anything, but they were genuinely freaked out. So I don't know. But
You need to take me there.
I will take you. We can go whenever you come back to Colorado. We'll drive up there and
How
sit
far
in
of a
the
drive is that
dark.
from where you are?
Probably like an hour and a half most.
Kind of far. I mean, if we record it, that'd be cool. And be like, hey, we'll do like a stream from up there. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
we
if
would.
they could hear it, I mean, apparently you have to be like in touch with your like, I don't know, ancestors or something. Cause I mean, my friend that did hear it, she is Cherokee Indian. So maybe, it's like her blood roots. And she was like, "This is my family. They're calling me." I don't know.
I'm Inca
It was
Indian
weird.
from
You're what?
Peru. So I'm Inca Indian from Peru.
Inca.
I think. I mean, maybe they'll just. Oh, he's like a distant cousin. I don't know. But
Yeah, they'll
yeah,
just like welcome you to their tribe.
maybe.
I
I
don't know.
mean, they could just see like I'm an outsider, and there's like, oh, it's a warring tribe, and they'll just be hostile. Have you ever seen Supernatural?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Salt the windows and doors, and we'll bring a bunch of salt. And
My friend's mom is like a legitimate like ghost hunter. Well, she hates when you call them ghosts. They're spirits. She finds spirits and talks to them and tries to interact with them to see why they're stuck here in this plane instead of off where they're supposed to be.
what has she learned so far?
I haven't talked to her in honestly a couple years just because life has been so busy and hectic. But last time I talked to her about her encounters, she was in this house where it had been abandoned because the woman committed suicide and left her two little babies in the house while like she was not there anymore. Um, and then they found the babies like weeks later after someone finally reported this woman missing. And so they wanted to kind of go in there to see like what caused this woman to do that, because with her family, they said that this was just like so out of the blue. Like she was happy. There was no reason for her to like commit something like that to herself. And so they kind of went there to just like investigate and see like if there was like any negative energies and like bad stuff. Like, and she said that when they went in there, like she could feel energy really heavily, and she didn't they didn't spot anything. Like they do kind of like in the ghost stories and stuff, like where they do like the heat sensors and they try to find like where it's hot and cold in the house and stuff like that. She said that none of those readings showed anything, but she said that just like the energy itself was like really daunting in there, and it was like scary to the point where she left. And like this woman has done this for her whole life, so I don't know. But yeah, she's like, that was my first encounter where I was almost like afraid to like be there, so we just left. So
Jeez.
yeah, some strong energy there, I guess. It's crazy. I don't know if I believe in ghosts, but I do believe in spirits, and they could get trapped here, I guess. So you never know.
I've I think I've encountered two before. Once was in New Jersey in like 2014, and I was coming. So I was still I was in McGuire Air Force Base. I was coming back from work, and I'm just scrolling through my phone on Facebook. It's like late at night, and I see like how sometimes if you're on your phone and like you'll see the reflection of the light in like the window.
Hmm.
So I thought that's what it was, but then I turned my phone off and the light was still there, like the street lamp or it's the moon, and it's this little girl that is like right next to like this dumpster, like on like the sidewalk, and um she had like this white dress on and like a sun hat, like that, like so I couldn't really see her eyes, like straight like brown hair. It was like very close to black. It was like dark brown, and it was a I was like, and I'm trying to think like there's like family housing like way over that way. It's like she like it's like 10:30 at night. She like lost like I'm like okay, let me go and so I unbuckle my seatbelt. I get everything, and then I look and I see her like run around to like the behind the dumpster. I was like, is there hello? Is like your family here? And I go and I walk. It takes maybe like 8 seconds to walk like behind the dumpster, and there was so much room between the dumpster and like the building that was back there. Like I would have seen her run that way. Like there's no way that little girl could travel like that fast.
Yeah.
And like she wasn't there. She wasn't there. I was like around the dumpster, like in the dumpster. I was like hello. I don't. I was like I don't, so I'm thinking like I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm like going. I'm about to. My friend Shrek. She comes down. She's Hauser now, but she was Shrek at the time. It's a great last name. And she comes downstairs like Chavez, what are you doing? I was like, there was like this little girl here, and like I think like she was lost, or like I don't know if like she's from over there, or like I don't know. She's like, did you call it security forces? Like not yet. Like I just like saw it, and she's like, okay, like well call them and we'll look. And I call security forces, and like we're looking for this guy, and I'm making this report, and I sound like all crazy. I don't know. It just and then the other thing was in 2011, I was in Ohio. It was like the Tiffin or like Gibsonburg area, and my friend at the time, Sabrina, was making her parents were building a house next to a barn that they had, and in like Ohio, I don't know if you've ever been, especially in like the fields of Ohio. There's nothing but like fields and roads. There's like this little school that was across the street from it, which it was like one story. It was very small. There was like a light shining down on it, and I was like, what is that? My friends were like, oh, it's probably a ghost. I was like, come on, like you guys know, like I'm not gonna be scared, right? Because like I didn't like believe, I didn't know, and they're like, no, like it happens all the time. Like when we're like Skyping and like we see stuff, like this is probably a ghost. Like I don't think I would really go bother it. And I was like, I'm gonna go see what it is. I'm gonna go investigate. And they're like, I don't think like I really wouldn't. And I was like, can't touch me. I was very cocky. I was very young. I was in such good shape from boxing. It was insane. Not that you could like hit a ghost, but I was feeling myself. So I get originally as I get closer, to like the front of the building or the front of the barn, it looks like it's just like a dress that's like in the wind, and I'm thinking like science, like somehow they have like clotheslines that's like moving it. Like you ever see Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, of course.
When Keira Knightley's dangling a dress on wires to make people think that there's a ghost, that's
Hmm.
what I thought was happening, like somehow. And then I get to like the edge of the grass, still on my side of the street, and there's a woman dancing in the dress. And I get, and she's like 8 feet tall, and she's like see through like Casper, but she's super tall. And then I get to like the middle of the road, and she stops. She looks at me like with these piercing red eyes, like if I take any step closer, like she's gonna come and murk me. So I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I'm just like slowly moving back, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then finally, when I like reached like my side of the street again, and she gets back to dancing, I take a photo, and then I run back. But it was like I had like a Razor cell phone, like an LG. It was like it was a crappy photo. It looked like a little dot,
No,
and
no night vision at that time.
it was yeah. It just looked like a little thing in the sky, and uh,
And how
yeah,
scary with like red eyes though? Like that
yeah,
sounds like super evil. Oh no,
yeah.
I don't like it. Oh, I don't
And
like
my
that.
friends were like, "I told you, yeah, I told you." I was like, you did, you told me." And I was like, "Oh," and I was so scared at this
Oh.
point, and they were having like relationship issues. Like, we're gonna go in the car. I was like, "Okay, leave me." And now it's super dark because there's no like light pollution there, which is really cool. The stars are so beautiful. Is that like that where you are in Colorado?
In certain parts, not in the city, but once you go farther out into the mountains or like Pueblo-ish area, then yeah, it's
Oh
really
God, the
pretty.
stars are. Oh God, that's it's also one of my favorite things to look at.
Mine too. I could definitely look at the stars all night.
It's a lot of fun.
But that's
Um,
sad because you live in New York, so you probably like never see them, huh?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't see them like ever. It sucks.
My heart hurts for you. That's sad. But at least you got to do a lot of traveling. So
Yes, that is also
you
true.
appreciate it even more because you don't get it every single day.
Yeah. Have you heard of people? They have these like in I think it's Iceland or like Norway or wherever they have these like makeshift igloos where they have like no ceilings, they're like glass ceilings, and you could rent them so you could
Yes.
see the northern lights.
Yes. I want to go to that so bad.
Saying when
It's like
Omi moons, I'm gonna oh god everything.
I'm doing that 100%. They do them in Alaska, and I'm gonna go to Alaska and I'm going to stay there for like a week, and I'm just gonna probably never want to come back. But I've never seen the Northern Lights, and I want to see them so bad. And then to stay in one of those igloos and like really be like experiencing the whole thing, it would just be so cool.
Yeah.
Goals for
Have
sure.
you seen The Fourth Kind?
Yes. See, I
Love
like
that.
alien stuff like that. Like I like suspense stuff. The only thing that creeps me out, like I won't go watch like Exorcist movies. I don't want to think about being like possessed and like that's too much for me. I'm like, oh, I'm good on that because if that's real, that's super scary, and I don't even want to think about it. So,
Annabelle was so good.
oh no, I don't like that.
It was 2017 was amazing for horror movies. You had It Part One, and then you had Annabelle. Like, oh god, so good.
Yeah. Do you like the remake of it more than the original, or
So I when I Chavez story time, I was it was back in the 90s, the Blockbuster era, where my family went to this place called like Domenico's. It was a Italian restaurant, and right next to it was a Blockbuster. And I I was just there's like, oh, go get a movie, for you to watch because I had a VCR upstairs and they had their VCR downstairs. Like, cool, I'll get a movie. I could watch it, and I've heard of this movie. I like kids like talked about it at school, like some they had older brothers, and I was like, oh, but it's rated R. And I know this is like a big movie. Like people knew about this like in like the 80s. So because I knew because John Ritter was in it of the original It. So I used my finger to cover the R rating. And I was like, "Hey mom, can I get It?" And she's like, "What is it?" Like, "Oh, it's just like a movie about a clown. Like John Ritter's in it, and it's funny." And then she's
it's
like,
funny?
"Yeah, yeah," because like this is like my play. And she's like, "I guess." And I swear, she knew that I was trying to pull a fast one on her, and she's like, "I'm gonna let him watch it." And I was like 8. I was like 7 years old, and she's like, "I'm gonna mess this kid up for life." Like cowabunga, it is. And I watched that. I still do not like clowns, like at all. And
They're
there's
just people with
a
makeup on, Randy.
I they're not they're different. They're like a different species. So I but I eventually learned to like conquer my fear of like the movie where I watched it again at like 11 and then again at 13 and and then when the new stuff came out, I was like, okay, we gotta. So which ones I like more? I mean, the older one was like my childhood, and the newer ones are they're both
Classics.
really good. I really love them. I love them both differently but
I just
equally.
hate his teeth. It's his teeth. No.
Do you know in between, I think, Reno and Vegas, there's a clown motel?
What?
Yeah, so there's so
You have
I
to
don't
go
know if
stay
this
the night there to really conquer your fears.
there are some things that I don't like. I would need dashi. I would need like a pump action shotgun. Like I would need my knife. I would need my wolf. I would need to be armed like to the teeth, and nobody could come into the room. So
You just see
so
a red balloon just go into your room.
I would be out of there so fast. Usain Bolt would be eating my dust. Um, there's why I or that was I think it was like a Reddit no sleep or like a or a creepy pasta, but it's a real hotel. But there's this guy that had a I don't know if you read Reddit no sleeps or creepy pastas at all. Oh, they're really good. They're just scary stories.
Just goosebumps for me.
Is that a doggo I hear?
Yes, that's Loki.
Oh my
Loki, come
God,
here.
Loki! Can you show Loki?
Yeah, come here, Loki. Here, let me just take this off. Loki.
Big baby, hi baby.
Yeah,
Woof,
that's my
woof.
doggo. He's the
Oh
best.
my goodness. Oh,
Loki, he's obsessed with Lokis. You have to say hello.
hello, sweet child. Oh my goodness. That is so. Oh my God, that's what type of dog is that?
So I've never heard of it before until I got him. When we adopted him, they didn't know what he was, so we like did a blood test, and he comes out to be a black mouth cur, and chow mix.
Oh, okay.
So he has like the black spots on his tongue. Okay, let me show
Mm.
them your tongue. Okay,
Do
I
him
won't do
when.
that to you.
Wow.
I won't do that to you.
Oh,
But yeah, this is my baby. I love him so much. I have a
oh,
picture of him in my wallet and everything. Like people are like, "Is that your dog?" I'm like, "Yes, I am a dog, proud dog mother,
no.
and he is my favorite." I have two cats too, but
I
they're
saw a
more
spectrum.
they're more my boyfriend's than
Gotcha.
mine.
Um, well, I mean, as long as you get to play with them, then it's fine. You could, they're your cats. They're the adopted. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so for the
Here, let me let
hotel.
him out of the room real quick.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Come
Go,
on,
go,
Loki. You can get out of here. You don't have to listen to my ranting anymore. Go ahead.
go.
Okay. Anywho.
Okay, so the story goes is that these two guys were driving somewhere and they had just picked up gas and they're so I don't know what this town was originally. The only thing that's there now is like the Clown Motel and then there's like a cemetery right next to it. And these two guys were yeah. So these guys were doing something and they're like okay, let's just stay here for the night. And one guy's just like in bed and the other guy's like brushing his teeth in like the bathroom and the bathroom where he was in the I guess the window that he looked out from looked into like the alleyway that's between there and the cemetery. And this is about to get really NSFW. I'll try to make it so that it's don't get them on or don't get whatever like flag.
Mm-hmm.
This he looks in the alleyway and he sees a clown with his pants around his ankles and he's doing things to a ham like ham ham is like around his like way and the clown I guess feels his eyes on him because the clown like turns around and like so and just looks at him like and the dude freaks out and so he goes and he's
Bye.
like Chuck like his friend that's like on the bed is like grab your gun we gotta go right now like grab your stuff we gotta go right now like right now and so okay so they go and they get out they get to the truck and and after like a minute it's like what is going on and he's just like and then he explains to him what he just saw and and then I looked up this place it's let me and it's a real place and I don't know if the story's real but it seems like it is Clown Motel. Oh, it's a place called Tonopah in Nevada. Well, famous clown. So yeah.
Ugh,
I
I hate that.
um
Do people stay there still?
yeah, yeah, no, it's like famous now. Like after that like story broke and like people started like it became like viral in like the mid 2010s and people were like
Whoa. I mean, we have the Stanley Hotel here.
what's the
Stanley
Stanley Hotel?
Hotel.
Is that Scary
Um,
Hotel?
it's like, I mean, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's like the hotel where like the whole, oh man, I don't even know the full story. I can't even think of their names right now. Everybody in Colorado probably thinks that I'm stupid. um, I don't know. Some bad stuff happened in this hotel, like a bunch of deaths. It's like almost like red rum. No joke.
Oh.
Yes, I'm not playing.
Wait, is that
Like,
the did they make a documentary about it?
yes.
Wait, is that the place where the girl was found in the water well thing?
Yes. All that. Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's here in Colorado. Not
Oh my God. Yeah, oh my God. I really want to stay there then. So how far away is that from you?
far. I mean, 45 minutes, an hour at most with traffic.
I'm so I might have to tell my buddy about that. Be like, hey, we're gonna go. Like and normally when I say I could just stay with him, but or my other friend Jill, but like to stay, I didn't know that was there. I didn't know that was like, oh
Yeah.
God, we'll make like a group event out of this. We'll have a bunch of people go. Oh God, this would be great. Like I love this stuff.
We could all stay there together. Let's
Yeah,
do it
we'll
because
get like
I've
adjoining
always wanted
rooms.
to.
At oh God, that'd be fantastic. Like if yeah, we'll try to make a group trip
Okay, but
out.
you guys can't like scare me on purpose. I hate that shit. Oh no.
No, no, we're pretty chill. My friend Brian, I served with in the Air Force. He's a cool dude. Um, is your boyfriend gonna scare us? Is that something he
So
does?
so the piano plays itself like all day.
Oh,
I've been up there to like visit during the day. I haven't stayed actually like in a hotel there, but you can just go up there and like view it and like have drinks and like stuff at their bar and everything there.
oh,
Um, yeah, and so like randomly, like you'll just hear the piano, and sometimes it is people that like go into the piano room and like start playing it, you know. But most of the times when you pop around the corner and you look in there, no one's in there. It's
that's
just
insane.
playing away. So
I,
yeah, it's
oh,
really
okay.
cool.
So yeah, we'll okay. This is gonna be great.
We have
Um,
some planning to do.
got a lot of planning.
um, well, kind of bringing it, I guess, back
So,
to the VV talk.
the BB.
uh, I know that you already said that you love traveling, so I'm assuming that's what you'll be doing with most of your profits with VV once it hits the moon. Um, do you think that you'll settle down and buy a house somewhere and have that as like your home while you go travel the world, or do you think that you don't even want just like a base, you just want to go everywhere and never come back?
So you know, I love animals, and I for me like it's hard to like the reason why I don't have any of my own is because I do travel a lot, and it's like okay, well I have to figure out logistics and you know, can anyone come and watch it? Can my animals go somewhere else? I have to board them. And then also, is that really fair to the animal where I'm out a lot or I'm working a lot, and you know the animal doesn't really have the best quality of life. Um, so what I was thinking about doing is getting an au pair for my pets. Well, like I'll get at some point maybe I get a house and I'd hire someone from like Austria or Ukraine or whatever, and be like, hey, your job, or you know, so that you know, is to live in this house and take care of the pets, like, because I want a lot of pets.
I'll sign up for that.
If I mean, they'd have to get along with Loki and the cats, but yeah, like it's that would be the that. So I mean, the end goal, you know, I posted like a declaration on Facebook. 90%. If I think by 2030 or definitely before 2030, we're probably at $1 per OMI, and you know I'll probably still have I hope to still have 100 million OMI by that point, And at that time, I would be like, okay, I would take 90% of the profits and put everything towards the animal charities, which would leave about 10 million for myself. And I think with that, I could still, assuming that I don't make any other investments and assuming I don't,
Yeah.
that'd probably be it. But yeah, that'd probably be fine.
I love that you want to like take care of the animals so much. That's like a really I'm really passionate about that too. I would love to like go to Thailand and like help like just how cool would it be to give an elephant a bath? I know that that's like not every woman's dream, but like I think that would be just awesome. Like just to be around all these elephants and like watch them and play with them, and they're just like big dogs, you know?
Oh,
Like,
baby elephants are
oh, I
so
love
cute.
them. Oh my gosh, I love
There's
it so much.
there's there's a video of this girl playing violin, and the elephants are just like watching her, and they're like dancing. I was like,
I
so
love
good.
that.
Yeah,
Last time I went to the zoo, I don't go to many zoos because I honestly don't really support what they do. I understand that they try to say like these animals were endangered and la di da, but why are you letting them mate in there and why are you letting them have babies then if it was like endangerment and not ever planning to make their exhibits bigger? And if anything, you're adding gift shops and making them smaller. And no, like we have Ocean World here or whatever, and Sea World, and we used to have this huge whale, and it's like the whale shouldn't be in water that's as the size of Colorado alone by itself, you know? So like there's no way that we have enough room for a whale. Like put him in the ocean, like it doesn't matter that we want to see him, like watch Natural Geographic if you want to see a whale, you know?
yeah,
So I don't really support zoos just because I feel like it's just for money and profit, and that's not where animals are supposed to be kept
yeah.
in these cages and captured. But last time I was there, the lady that did the whole like elephant part, she said that elephants look at us like we do dogs.
I've heard about that as well. Um,
Yeah. So they just look at us like we're cute little puppies, and they're like, "Oh, that they're so cute. Look at them play with each other and like play these little weird instruments. Like they're so interesting."
yeah, I've heard of that as well. Yeah, so that's why a lot of my, uh, at least the land conservation in Madagascar and Indonesia would just be land. It wouldn't be zoos. They'd be like conservatories, and there'd be whatever. But yeah, there wouldn't be um there
Just
wouldn't be any zoos.
captivity. Just don't keep them,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
the in the
closed
in
off
the
to the
U.S.
world.
Yeah, no, agreed. In the U.S., the idea of sanctuaries would pretty much just be dogs and cats. They would go like if there are places that are, let's say, they still have kill shelters,
Yeah,
where they're like, I would make sanctuaries near those places so we could um take them. So
that would be cool.
I'm hoping 90 million is enough. I mean, there's also a chance that it's not, and then I have to kind of redo it just with 10 million and just okay, now time to grind again. Um, so I think at that point though, where I've been telling everyone, not financial advice, that OMI is probably one of the best things with the best ROI, and to be able to go and say, hey guys, I made you all millionaires. Time to pony up for this charity. Time to pay it back. And I think at that point, I'd be able to go and and have more of an impact. I wouldn't have to spend, or I wouldn't have to grind as hard because I would have a lot
Yeah.
of people's support. I would hope.
Well, you already have me in your pocket. So when
Thank
Walt
you.
goes to a million, a billion, or whatever he's projected to be, you already know you have
Thank you.
my funds for sure. Because I love that. I love that you're still trying to think about this world, because with the multiverse and everything, like I think that some people think that they're just going to go like live in this digital world and not have to care about this planet anymore, but we do have to realize, like, not to be on a sad note or anything, but this world is on fire and we need to do something to change it, or it's just not going to be here much longer, you know?
Yeah, no, agreed. And that's why I think that I'm very optimistic on the human species, in the long term. And I think why I'm so passionate about this is because I do see a future, whether probably a couple hundred years from now, where everything is maybe like 1,000 years, where everything is a bit more peaceful, and everyone's prosperous. But then they have this, people in the future might, if we don't save some of these animals now, they would only have to learn. They would only get to learn about them by reading about them in like history books, as opposed
Yep.
to we could save them, and then they could actually see them in real life. And I think people would
Right.
be sad if they couldn't do that. So that's
I
for humanity
agree.
also.
Like imagine just hearing about polar bears, but you can never see one. You're just
I
like,
don't know.
"Oh, these giant white bears. That sounds cool, I guess." Like, no, it was amazing. So amazing that Coke even used them as their mascot. That's how
Yeah,
amazing they were, you know.
yeah.
And I heard so for a while Coke was putting some of their or like some of their profits towards um um like helping polar bears and stuff, but apparently they don't do that anymore. And I kind of want to
Mhm.
ask them why. Why did y'all stop?
Maybe I'll try to get one of the executives on the podcast, and then I'll go from
I
there.
would love to figure out more on that because if it's funding issues, I feel like a lot of people purchase Coke and they definitely have plenty of funds to
Yeah.
can still
Co-
contribute. That's one of I don't even like Coca-Cola itself. Like I just don't like dark sodas. I drink lighter sodas if I'm gonna drink soda. Um, but the only reason why I would even invest in Coke is because I knew that they were doing that for the Bears. And when I figured out they weren't anymore, I'm like, why am I investing in you guys then? Like this is whack. So I don't know.
Agreed.
Agreed.
But that was
So
a yeah. That was,
sorry.
I think they took over India, like Coke. Like the only drinks made in India, I think, are a lot of Coke products and like nothing else. Pretty
Oh
crazy.
really?
Yeah, like I think people in India have easier access to Coke than they do water, which is nuts.
That's super nuts.
Yeah.
How cool would it be to go somewhere and like help build a well or like a school for like I would love to do a mission trip, but the only thing is I kind of fell off of like being as religious as I used to be when I was young. So I don't know if like on mission trips like you can still go if you're not like preaching God down their throats, but I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, so I had one of my first ideas of doing this was, what to do with these funds is to take where like Bill Gates had sent a bunch of vaccines, and where like Elon Musk was building solar panels, and in parts like Africa,
Yeah.
is because that there's so much of this world that doesn't have internet, that they're not using their brains. They're like finding like rats to kill to eat the rats, or like they're finding way to boil leaves to make paste, and they're not using their brain. So I feel like if we go and we suddenly give people that are immunized, that have like some renewable energy, and Elon Musk is doing a bunch of Starlink stuff. If I'm able to go and take those places, like in the uh, places where they overlap, and I start to build wells, so that they have clean water, then okay, then they can start caring about school. And even if most of them don't care, but some of them do, I think a consequence of that would give rise to like dozens, if not hundreds, or maybe thousands of geniuses. And like what could the world be if we had another like Elon Musk's? So I think
Yeah.
that was kind of over. I think that's kind of being taken care of, and that was kind of overshadowed by like humans will get there anyway. But not, so many people are working on that problem, and not too many people are working on the animal problem, or not as many. So I still might do that as well at some point. I need a little bit more money, but yeah.
Right,
Um,
definitely. But
so,
that's cool.
but if I do that, and you still want to do that, you could totally go on a trip if you wanted to, and help build a well, or sanitation station, on the
A
well.
sanitation station. That's
Yeah,
fun to
because it needs
say,
to be sanitized.
sanitation station. But yeah, that would be cool. I would love to just go experience all of that. That's one of the reasons why I love Angelina Jolie, because did you know that she goes and does that like every year?
Yeah, yeah, she's great.
She
I love her.
she's amazing. That's my wife. I love her. Um, I did want to get to know a little more, like, sorry to bring it just like right back to VV, but
Yeah, no,
I want to know, like, when you're collecting, are you collecting because of popularity, like you said, like, scarcity because like it's so little amount, or just like the look of the piece itself, like the quality of it because it looks nice, or like what do you look for, like what prompts you to buy the most, I guess.
so this gets interesting. Like there's, for investment purposes, it's whatever's popular. The IP. That's the partner statue, or that's like Spider-Man, Winnie the Pooh, all that jazz. Lightsabers are really good. Like I said, I really like Loki's for that arbitrage opportunity. But there's every now and then, like just some things, like if there's no gamification for the Mighties, they still look like they are just the most fun to play with in like your showroom, and it's just they're chibi and they're like they're cute. It's fun. Um, some of the other things similar to that would be the Cryptkins, where I don't I make fun of them a lot because it's like they look weird and derpy, but I could sell it, like if I and I wouldn't do this, but if I go to like a whale group and be like, guys, how many people here know an eccentric person that is obsessed with like Bigfoot or the Mothman or Supernatural, like Lovecraft Cthulhu, and everyone will probably be like, oh, I know one person like that. It's like that one person represents millions, and there's only like 9,000 or 5,000 of these, and go and invest in these. And although that's probably true, I just see like there's I don't see a lot of people wearing like Bigfoot T-shirts or like having Bigfoot dolls.
For
Most
sure.
everyone has like a Timon. They know Timon and Pumbaa. They know Winnie the Pooh and Cosmos and Lemire and all that.
Definitely.
So yeah, so that's why I go with them. But for whatever reason, I think it's my supernatural side. I got the Kripken set. I love it. They're adorable. I love the Loch Ness monster. I love all of these things. And
The Yeti was one of my first purchases too. So I definitely agree with you. They're cute and they kind of like look like Funko Pops, like big heads, big eyes or whatever. I think they look
yeah,
cute. I like them.
yeah.
Maybe they're not as popular, but whatever. Good MCP points again, stacking up
Yeah, it's like
those.
the best MCP points. So
Yeah.
I buy them because I just like the way they look. It's not for investment. It's not for any. I just like them. And same thing with the Mighties as well. So it really depends what I'm going for. That's about it.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I know sometimes I like catch myself thinking too much about, I mean, you can't think too much about profit, but I do find myself, seeing it more for money instead of fun. And I just like have to remind myself to like pull myself out of that for a second because this is all a guessing game anyways. Like none of us know exactly which ones are going to go to the moon, which ones are going to get left behind, like obviously there's some stuff that like we can make a more educated guess on what to pick from, but you just never know. Like some people say, like if you're comparing Gavanci or whatever with um let's say secret rare Thor. Like, would you rather have secret rare animated first FA Thor or artwork? And who knows, like, both can do phenomenal things, but it's kind of just like what. That's why you just have to collect with your heart, is
Yeah,
what I'm trying to get to. Because, like, you just have to pick up what you like and just hope for the best. I
yeah.
mean, you could go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. In back to the Pokemon business that I had, when people would ask like, "Hey, what should I collect?" Like, listen, start with collecting what you like, and then once you fill up a binder, or once you fill up get much of a certain card or set, then go to, but collect what you like first. And um,
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it more fun. If you're just looking at it like numbers, just looking at it like whatever, then it's a I don't know. It takes some of the fun out of it. Whereas like, okay, I'll buy Givenchy just because of the name. If you're not into art and just buying it for the name, it's an investment and it's whatever. But
Yeah.
if you like it because it's cool and it's especially the Pride piece, Pride one at the where okay, it's kind of like stands for something, and you
Yeah.
know that other art galleries are looking for it as well. Um, it's a pretty cool it's a pretty good thing to invest and to admire. But then Thor, it's like, oh god, he's a god. He's Thor Odinson. And there's so much lore around him.
Exactly.
There's so much. So yeah, collect what you like.
Yep, collect what you like. Um, trying to think if there's. Oh yeah, I did want to ask you. Did you like have a heart attack when David Yu was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do an interview with you"? Because I
um,
feel like that's how I was when you were like, "Oh yeah, I'll do an interview with you." I was like, "Oh, Randy's gonna be on my channel. This is crazy." So I feel like you're probably the same way with David Yu.
yeah, it was like a Hail Mary shot in the dark. I was like, I didn't know like what time it was over in New Zealand. I just it was like a 12 and a half hour stream by that point already. And when he comes on, it's like, oh God, I gotta drink some tequila here. I gotta drink some honey, make sure my throat's okay, and make sure I'm good. And I was more like, oh my God, he said he's coming. I was just like excited. I was telling everyone like, guys, he's coming on, he's coming on. And like, and not that I ever really prepare. Like I for all my podcasts, I never really have a script or anything. And everyone asks like, what type of questions are you going to be asking? Like, oh. So when we get to, I don't know, when it came on, I was more excited, and I was like one of the guys that's like, as a collector, you really look up to him because that's what he does. And he's done that for a lot longer than I have. It's like, okay, you're meeting like who you would hope to become in the future, at least as far as collecting goes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it was just great. It was just, an honor.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that video, by the way, too. You crushed it. No
Thank you.
nerves again. Even with the great David Yu, you could just be yourself, and
Yeah. So I
everybody
think
loves it.
if he were to pop on right now, you could just he's just he's like us. He's a nerd. Like he's one of us. Like you could just have a conversation with him, and it'd be like meeting him at the bar or meeting him at a comic book store. He's just so chill. He's just such
Yeah,
a amazing guy. Yeah,
that's awesome. Maybe I'll have him on my channel one day.
maybe at some point. Yeah, I think at some point, I don't know when. Maybe in like a couple of years, he'll probably be a little less busy, and he can go and give back to the community as he wants.
Oh, are you going to Comic-Con?
San Diego?
Yeah.
Yes. You?
Oh, I want to, like, I'm trying to gather money up right now to go. So, 2 months ago, I got in a car accident, and semi came and sideswiped my car on the highway and then just kept driving.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, and right now with inflation and everything, we have a shortage of used cars. So I'm still waiting for a car to come in. I had to go buy a new one and lease because it's literally
Oh,
just like the cheapest way to go now. So I don't get my car until August, but I've just been like saving up to like
yeah.
purchase this. It'll be my first car ever, like, or brand
Are you
new
getting
car
like a
ever.
settlement from them? Like the thing that hit
They
you? Like,
couldn't, so like I like obviously filed the police report. They like looked on the CDOT cameras and everything like on the highway, and they couldn't find anything on this guy or the trailer or whatever. They like said that if they figured out anything, I would hear back from them in 2 days, and it was like a week, and I finally called them back and I was like, hey, did you guys like find anything? And they're like, no, unfortunately, like there's no like cameras that we can view like where the accident had happened and like all this stuff. So my insurance ended up paying me out like $1,000 for my car, but I still owed 1,500 on it.
oh,
So
geez.
yeah, so I'm just trying to get myself out of that hole.
Oh,
But I'm really hoping that I am able to go. I just have to look at plane tickets. I know I can get the tickets for Comic Con itself. Now I just need to afford the flight there.
you have a connection for the tickets to Comic Con that you can buy them
No, well,
because they're
possibly.
really expensive on the.
I know, and that's the only thing that's like kind of stopping me. I'm just like, I don't know. I do have some flight miles added up like on my credit card or
No.
whatever, so that can maybe help out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's up in the air.
No.
I'm really hoping
And
that we can
also
end up going.
just be advised that the hotels like right next to the convention center, they're all booked, so you have to go like a couple miles out, which is fine. You can just Uber there.
That's
But
fine
I'm
with me.
just letting you know. Um, yeah, so I mean, even if you don't get to that one, totally go to um, to Designer Con in Anaheim. That'll be fun. New York Comic Con, that'd be great. You'll be out near me. You'll be out near a lot of cool people will be there in
Women,
October.
have they have? Oh, it's in October.
Mhm.
Yeah, I might have to go to the one in New York. I'll come visit your city.
That'd be great. We'll have we have a lot of fun in New York.
I bet. I
Yeah,
liked your I liked your stream where you were just like interviewing the streets of New York.
yeah,
I'm like, this is nice. I like this idea. I'm gonna have to go to like DU, like the college down the street from me, and like just interview like college students and be like, have you heard of Vivi? Do you like NFTs? Crypto? You know?
it's fun. It's good. It's good
Spread the
practice.
word. Yeah. And the security guard that you were talking to seemed like a really humble and cool dude. I only hear like that New Yorkers are jerks and like won't talk to strangers. It's like, don't look at me, like I don't know who you are. So it was kind of nice to see that like that's not really how all of New York is.
Yeah, no, there's some good people in there. Like there'll be people that tell you to heck off. There'll be people that tell you where to go, but a lot of people are pretty they're okay to talk. And they're so interesting. You never know who you're gonna bump into. Like that guy happened to be a world class athlete.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after this is over, but he told me not to say his name publicly. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. Um, okay, well this is almost going on 2 hours now.
Doesn't
I
seem like
love
that
hanging
long.
out with you. I know, right?
Yeah, it's so much fun.
um But maybe I should like let you get to your day. If I heard you correctly in your stream last night, you might be doing another video with somebody else.
Yeah, Henry Pagliuca will be coming on in about 2-ish hours. But I mean, it's fine. I don't have to make the stream yet. So I'll talk to you once the stream ends. We'll just hang out for a little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
And so it was the wrestler I had, and what was the other thing that I had to talk to you about after?
Oh, was it? We were talking about so much stuff. Was it with the creepy Stanley Hotel, or was it
Oh,
with
maybe.
Mario
No, I
and
don't know.
how you're gonna get whooped in some Mario Kart?
Oh, the joke's coming out of you right now. Well,
Jokes coming out of me. Ah.
um, yeah, no.
Okay, you
I
might
think I
beat me
remember
in
what it was.
cart because I'm not the best at drifting anymore, but I definitely have you in Smash. So
Okay, all right. Star Fox. There's a reason why love the game, but yeah, no. Star Fox is my dude, girl, you don't
Star
know.
Fox is going down.
Get them. All right. This is so much fun. Thank you to the audience. To your audience, everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. See you later.
Love it. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you coming and visiting me and letting me or allowing me to have my first interview with one of the greatest. It's been a pleasure. If you don't follow Randy, I don't know what you're doing. You need to hurry up and go subscribe to his channel, give all of his videos a like. He is the best in our community. And I thank you guys for your time and watching us. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. Happy 4th of July.
Meow. Bye, guys. Meow, meow. Happy 4th.